folks, welcome to the Smackdown podcast. We are your hosts, Kyle, and from Calavera Comedy, Benji. What's up, Benji?
Yo, what up, what up, what up?
Not much, man. Rob Rude is on excursion this week. I think he's out doing something for Destiny 2. I know he's a huge fan. Can't wait for him to come back. He will, however, be editing these. So thank you, Rob, for the hard work, and thank you for editing our videos. Well, back to our show. We are the Smackdown podcast. We are your one-stop shop for all your WWE main card reviews, recaps, predictions. Every now and then we might cover NXT or the upcoming AEW, but for the most part, it's your Raw, it's your SmackDown, and your main pay-per-views. This week we're going to be covering SmackDown. If you're listening to us on YouTube, thank you. Otherwise, you can find us just by typing in the search bar, Smacked Raw Podcast. If you're listening to us on the audio realm, you can find us at Podbeam at smackdrawpod.podbeam.com. And then you can also find us on, what's that little one? Spotify. So happy to be there. And hopefully we'll be on the road here to get on Google Play and iTunes sometime soon. But Rob's usually the one that handles that, and I got
check you out, making big moves.
Yeah, man. We're hoping. I don't know what's involved, man. I don't know if Rob's got to I don't know what he's got to do. If he's got to talk to people.
He's got the plug. He's got the plug. I got you.
Yeah, man. He's got to do something. I don't know, but you can find us on Twitter. You can follow Rob at 2 words can't see me. It's 2 with TWO and C, the letter C. You can follow myself at the Kai Tai Show. And I forget where you're at, Benji, so I'll let you plug yourself.
You can find me at Calavera, YouTube, Instagram, all that stuff. All platforms.
Nice. But yeah, man, so those are the places you can find us. Make sure to hit us up, man. I love interacting with people. Drop a comment if you can on YouTube. I'm usually checking up to see what people are commenting. That's actually what inspired me to invite you back, Benji. Our number one episode on YouTube when we covered NXT, the first comment was a guy complimenting you, saying you're quite funny, and said that we needed to have you back. So,
I do what I do, baby.
Yeah, man. So yeah, of course we had to invite you back. But anyways, we got another Raw and SmackDown behind us. What was your overall take on tonight's show, SmackDown?
Not the worst theme. Not the worst.
Yeah.
I could just do without Shane McMahon at this point in my life.
Dude, you thought opening the show with the Authority every week was bad. Jesus.
Nah, this is getting. It's almost on purpose. I feel like at this point.
Just to get the crowd all riled up.
The chants, the boring chants are just getting louder and louder and louder, dude. It just kills. It's not good.
Yeah,
I'm not all for that bloated tomato. You can't even put a. He has to grab his leg to put the other guy into a leg lock. He can't. It's just ridiculous.
I know, man. And who is he to make fun of someone else's bloated face, calling Mrs. Dad potato face, when he looks like he's been stung a couple times in the cheeks himself, man.
He looks like Mel Gibson when he got arrested. That's what he's starting to look like.
Oh my God, man. Yeah, man. Yeah. SmackDown for me, it was pretty all right, man. It was I don't feel like it accomplished too much, but it wasn't terrible. They got the worst segment out of the way. They opened the show with shit, my monitor is shut down. But they opened the show with a Miz TV, and Miz came out. He was forced to host this week's episode, and his guests were, of course, Shane McMahon, Drew McIntyre, and Elias, yes. Damn, oh, thank God, man. I'm sorry, I hit the power, and everything flashed off. I wasn't sure if my computer was still working. My notes disappeared for a moment, but we're good. Just having some technical difficulties. But anyways, yeah, I think the highlight of the whole segment was, for one, I liked that Miz was rocking the meme shirt of his dad. I'm wondering if WWE has the rights to that to sell it, or if that was just a custom print.
It's under the WWE the shop, whatever.
Oh,
It's
so
like 30
it is.
bucks.
It
It's
is on
30
their
bucks,
shop.
yeah. Yeah.
Oh my
30 bucks for
god.
that shirt. Yep.
You know what's funny is there's a large portion of the internet who doesn't watch wrestling, and they still use that as a meme. So like, you walk around with it, and a lot of people might not
Yeah.
even know what the hell that's from.
Right.
But
Oh yeah, they're pretty good at capitalizing on memes and killing them as fast as they come around.
you feel like that's their sole purpose now is just to create memes.
You know, and not too long ago, they made fun of another little company for being a T-shirt company. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's true, but it's I don't know, man. I
But
mean,
yeah, this
it,
segment
it
was what it was. You know, they Shane is he. Yeah, I guess he tried to get heat or whatever, but his promo is just not going anywhere.
well, he's entering that you know what I refer to when I say X-Pac heat, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's kind of where he's venturing. It's just getting to the point now where just people don't want him on their screen so often. You know what I mean? Like we touched on it last time. There is a proper way to use him, and it's just the old adage that less is more. But having him every single week and then being one of the biggest storylines every week going in, it's one of the major reasons that opens up WWE to criticism. It's obviously it's not the primary reason, but it's definitely in the list of reasons why they're so criticized nowadays. And it's just because it's a lackluster story that they're just going all in on for whatever reason, and it's garnishing no interest. Because I'll be honest, like they walk out there, and I don't even know where the angle's going. Like I forget that it's Drew McIntyre and Roman Reigns at
Right,
Stomping Grounds. You know what I mean? And then
right.
it's like I don't even realize, like, is the Miz and Shane still like technically in a feud, or is this kind of just one of those just poking someone with a stick? You know, like I
Kind of
don't.
seems that way. It's like it's Raw and SmackDown opens up like to 30 minutes of just straight Shane McMahon missionary like promos. It's just like it is what it is. You're just lying there taking it, and it's just like, can we get this over with?
It's so boring. Give me something new.
Right. Like, just make it interesting. Flip me over. Who knows? Pull my hair a little bit. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Jesus, we're already off to a better start than yesterday. God damn it. Um, and but
Yeah, so he goes into he pisses the Miz off by making fun of his father or anything, and rightfully so. Miz gets pissed off and starts to fight him, but to get to him, he needs to get through Elias first, and then get through McIntyre before he can even have an opportunity to fight against Shane O'Mac.
mm-hmm. Yeah, so we get a little mini gauntlet match to start the show off,
Right.
which immediately kicked off after the commercial break. First up was Elias. Match goes about 5 minutes before Miz hit the skull crushing finale. It was right.
Mm-hmm.
I just missed the ending as I was taking notes. But he hits the skull crushing finale in about 5 minutes flat, picks up the victory. Drew McIntyre up next. And this goes actually pretty much how you would expect, looking at McIntyre and Miz. Miz gets a little bit of offense, some little, on the outside, but ultimately succumbs to the Claymore kick. And that's it. So Miz is unable to get through Drew McIntyre. But predictably, Shane comes in to pick the bones and decides to have the match anyways. He was hitting him hard in the face. Like, Miz has got the worst work punches because he hits you. Like, for real. Like, it's been noted by Chris Jericho and a couple other wrestlers, dude.
Shane, yeah.
That Shane, excuse me, not Miz, but Shane, yeah. That he legit hits you. He doesn't know how to pull his punches properly.
I think Jericho's the only one that I forgot what match it was. I believe it was WrestleMania or whatever. he actually hit him back, and you could hear him shout to him to calm the f down.
Yeah, yeah. No, Jericho's been public with it because Jericho's like an interesting enigma. He really,
I don't.
as
I
old
don't
as he is, he does what he wants. You know what I
right,
mean? He doesn't necessarily
right.
go into business for himself, but he's not a yes man by no means at all either. If he doesn't agree with something, he'll fight it tooth and nail. You know,
Right, like he recently pulled out of the next AEW show
is that for real?
because he didn't get his thank you.
I saw, yeah, I saw
He's
that, but
probably gonna show up.
I
He'll
was
probably show up. Who
probably be like
knows?
a
He
a
has
beatdown or something. Yeah,
right.
that dude is
But
just getting worldwide heat, man.
as far as Shane McMahon's punches, I don't know if you remember. It was a few weeks ago. There was a local talent, Lance Anoa'i. He came up.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Roman's cousin.
right, from MLW, rookie. I think he's got a year wrestling in already. Pretty good guy. He gave Shane McMahon a stiff drop kick, and it visibly pissed off Shane McMahon. Where, as you said, he started just pounding the dude like right in the head. The little
Yeah,
bogus, just hitting him hard. Like, I mean, who's gonna do anything? This guy's a millionaire, you know. Who's gonna touch him? It's his company,
yeah,
whatever.
yeah. No
But
one's.
yeah, shout out to the Miz. He has to endure this every time.
Oh my god, man.
I'm working with Shane. Yeah,
You got to, man. But Miz tries to garnish a little bit of a comeback, but ultimately is tapped out by Shane McMahon in his weak triangle choke. He doesn't even lock it in correctly. But and that's it for the match. Cuts to backstage. So luckily we didn't have to succumb to like a post gauntlet match beatdown between the three. They kind of just cut away, and that was it for the night. And I'm happy to say the rest of the night was better than the opening. But it does.
it picked up dramatically after he was gone.
Yeah, exactly. So backstage, we cut back there. Fire and Desire are back there harassing Ember Moon. Mandy Rose is still pushing her magazine cover for like Muscle Fitness Hers, I think it is. Dude, I love going out and seeing that though. Like seeing it. I don't know why. It always makes me chuckle. But
What, the magazine? Like, I have a couple copies. What?
a couple.
Oh, sorry.
They wear out quickly.
Yeah, the pages are sticky. I don't know if it comes like that.
Jesus.
But
So-
anyways, so we had
anyways,
Ember
looks like
Moon playing it on the Nintendo Switch, I think it was.
yeah, man. They slapped that junk right out her hand, bro. Like they're always picking on Ember Moon for her like doing her thing, man. Like she can't
Right.
read a book in peace. She can't play video games. Yeah, and she arguably does what I would do too, man. Freaking raged out, dude. Started throwing stuff,
Yeah.
screaming. Probably setting up. That's probably the next feud for them. Is for Ember Moon to go ahead and
Pretty good.
dismantle them.
It's about time to give Ember Moon something.
Something to chew on because she's arguably the best worker out of the
Yeah.
women's division. She's up there with I would say Charlotte. You know what I mean? But she's just got her own style.
Right.
This part tickled me, man. This part tickled me so good because it makes me think of all the YouTube YouTubers whenever they make their first internet belt. We got Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan in the ring, and they're taking on the YOLO County Tag Team Champions. I didn't catch their name, but they're rocking cardboard titles.
Yeah.
And Daniel Bryan says they're gonna have a match to unify the belts. I was like, this is gonna be the greatest thing ever. Like they're gonna steal those cardboard titles, man, and you're gonna have both Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan walk around with two sets of belts, and one of them's cardboard. But before the match could get started, we get Heavy Machinery. They come out, totally forgot that they've been barking for a title match, and so D-Bry kind of sidesteps his match and hands off the local talent to Heavy Machinery, which Heavy Machinery hits the compactor within about 2 minutes for the win. Heavy Machinery ain't gonna get those belts though, are they? They're not gonna.
Uh, maybe not right away. I think it's too soon. They got to build themselves up a bit.
I just couldn't imagine like them getting a win over Daniel Bryan or Eric Rowan, either of them. Uh, like the only way I could see it is if it was like a multi
Which is
team,
probably what they're gonna do.
like a three-way tag team match or a four-way
Right.
tag
Yeah.
team match. That way, neither of them have to take the pin. Because to be fair, I like Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan. We're not seeing enough of them, but
But it's just tag teams in general in
yeah,
WWE.
like this is probably in my opinion, this is the best Rowan's ever looked.
Oh yeah, by far.
He's got a
By far.
clear cut character. Like he actually has a character that's got some dialogue, but it feels like he's got more direction than just being the third, sometimes fourth man of the Wyatt family. You know?
Kind of feels like it's his last shot too. I think
Yeah.
after so many reboots.
It's Team Hell No 2.0 is essentially the way I feel about it, but they without all the infighting.
Hey, they are the planet's champions. You put some respect on their name.
But yeah, man, I can't wait to see, man. I'm hoping, man. I'm hopeful. I won't hold my breath too long, but I'm hopeful those tag teams get some time to shine.
Daniel Bryan cut a promo saying he wants that tag team belt to main event at WrestleMania. He wants to take it all the way to WrestleMania.
Dude, do it. At this point, I'd say do it, man. Do it. Like I don't care. Like I'm usually wore out by the end of WrestleMania, anyways, because it's 13 hours long. By the end, it sucks. That was the worst part about having those women as the main event, is because as great and as a real moment as it was, at the end of a 7 hour pay-per-view, you're exhausted. Like you could care. Like it's not that you could care less, but I mean, dude,
But you know
everything
what I
that
find
preceded it drains you. You know.
I find weird about that is it's about 5-7 hours. Wrestle Kingdom, New Japan's biggest show, is equal. It's about 5 hours as well, but it doesn't feel that way. It goes by so quick. But when you
Yeah.
watch WrestleMania, it just feels like it just drags on like forever. You're like there the whole day almost.
Well, I will say that WrestleMania this year, they paced it as good as you could pace it.
Oh yeah,
You know,
yeah,
they did pace it perfectly. It's just whoever finished the night off was gonna just have a stale reaction because people are naturally gonna be tired. You know,
yeah.
like I don't.
Arguably, you could have took out the Shane McMahon and Miz match. I think you could also took out the Randy Orton match as well. There's a few matches you could have took
Yeah.
out.
Well, yeah. Could have taken out the Triple H. Well, no. Actually, Triple H and Batista was pretty fun. You know, that was
It was
pretty
fun,
fun.
but it was a lot longer than any of it. Well, that's
I'm
most of Triple H's matches, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm tired of Triple H being given the longest match of the night on anything that he's on. Any
Right.
pay per view he takes part on, he makes sure his match is longer than everybody else's, and it's getting old, man. It's getting so old. But
But you know what? Not getting old. This our truth and the 24/7
I
title.
am telling you, awesome segues, bringing them back. Yes. So, oh my God,
He's been making gold out of this title, man.
dude. Well, you know, he was talking to Carmella back there, man. He's traumatized. He's
Yeah.
traumatized from defending the 7-Eleven championship. I love that every week the name of that belt changes. Like last week or Monday, excuse me, he named it like the 48-7 European U.S. title. Like it had like so many different names all
I
in
think he
one
called it
string.
the TV title at one
I
point as
think
well.
so. Oh my God, man! Really, that
Honestly, like
that
that
is.
belt on anybody else, it's not gonna work at this point.
I think you could, but our truth is setting the bar so high.
Yeah.
He's setting the bar so high right out the gate that yeah, it's going to be hard for anyone to live up to it. You're going to need somebody with equally as good comedy chops because it has to be a comedy belt. You cannot have
only-
that belt be serious.
The only way I could see it progressing is if Carmella ends up turning on him and taking the belt, and then the belt gets shifted into different brands, as they said it was going to originally.
Right.
That's the only way I could see that keeping some momentum or keeping some life.
Because supposedly it's supposed to end up on NXT and
Yeah, that's what they said the
205
first thing on All
Live,
Brand. Yeah, and
and
that has not
legends are
happened.
supposed to be eligible. Like you could have freaking Razor Ramon come back and win it or something.
That's how they hyped it up. Right now it's just mostly been used to boost up Raw's like third hour.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind. Like I said, I it's at the end of the show here, but it is truly been one of the most consistent highlights of every episode of Raw and
Yeah,
SmackDown now, up there with the Firefly Funhouse. Um,
yeah. It's originally I thought it was going to be a dumpster fire, but it wasn't. It just ended up being that our truth hid inside the dumpster, and then Carmella accidentally locks him in it.
yes, he did. Well, it's not a dumpster. It's I was trying to think of the name of it, but it's obviously the boxes that they carry all their technical equipment in.
Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
it's like we'll call it like an equipment box or an equipment crate is what it is. Um, but yeah, you're right. Our
Could have
truth.
just rolled along with it a little bit. Jeez, we ruined my segue.
I didn't. I'm sorry, okay, but for
Yeah, okay, so
continuity's sake, for continuity's sake, man.
I get it. You're a true journalist. I respect that. I respect it.
But, oh man. But
So yeah,
yes,
so
yeah. Truth hides. Carmella gets called to her match. Truth finds out he's locked in the thing, and then here comes Jinder
Jinder
Mahal
Mahal.
in the worst Carmella impression that he could ever come up with. Oh my god! But he says he's gonna take
I don't
off
know
and go
how.
find a crowbar.
I don't know how he said, "Oh, that was a."
Oh, because he's so good, man.
I,
He's this is a perfect role for Jinder too. Like Jinder's falling into this comedy like bit, you know what I mean? Like it was I liked him at first as world champion. I felt
Mhm.
really happy for him. It outstayed its welcome. But then this has been the first sign of breathing new life into him since that title run he had. So I'm
he's
happy for him.
he, he he's capable of it when he was in the 3MB. He can do comedy, but I feel like he's much more confident now. You could just
Yeah.
tell automatically.
When you're allowed to have some fun, it'll show. Like it will
Right.
show when you're having some fun. Um, well, we cut back to the ring and we got Sonya Deville and Carmella out there, ready to have their match. During the match, Mandy Rose gets herself involved, helping Sonya get her foot on the ropes during submission, and provides a distraction for a close roll up. Mella hit one of the sickest dives I've seen her do to date.
Yeah, it was
Like
by far the best one. Yeah.
that was full speed through the bottom rope. She ultimately takes out Mandy Rose with a super kick on the outside, but ends up falling to Sonya via flying knee, which I like a lot more than just her roundhouse kick that she was using there for a minute. I do like a flying knee. She's probably got the best V trigger for a female
Right. I
going
can
right
see that.
now. Yeah, yeah. Which it's funny. I thought V trigger was like a New Japan name, but it gets used in WWE as well. They didn't call it here, but I've heard them call V trigger before. And I didn't. I thought that was like just a Kenny Omega signature, but no, like
Huh. I haven't
yeah.
heard that.
Yeah, yeah, I heard I know I heard him maybe a couple episodes ago, but it stuck out to me because I was like, "Oh shoot, I didn't know WWE uses that name." But yeah, they do. So the next part, man, disappointed me. It looks like it is just the generic Alexa Bliss manipulating Nikki Cross. This was probably the most obvious on the nose segment that's proving it. Um, Bliss is pulling the whole Twitter doesn't like you, Nikki, and not to mention Bailey's on Twitter and she don't like you either. But you have a match with Bailey later. I set it up so you can go take it out on her, and it's man, I had high hopes that they were gonna do something clever here, but this just makes me feel like it is it. This is all it's gonna be. Nikki Cross is gonna be naive, think she has a friend, and Alexa Bliss is gonna turn on her
Which now that I think about it, it's the whole Nia Jax angle all over again. She did the same
all
thing,
over again, man.
telling people they're making fun of her because she's fat, blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
It
But
would
just
not surprise me if later on Nikki Cross walks in on Alexa talking crap about
talking
her.
crap. Yeah. I don't know. I think what it's going to do in I'll touch on it a little bit more after the match, but I honestly just think it's gonna expire at Stomping Grounds. Alexa Bliss is gonna come up short and then just take it out on Nikki Cross and probably have like a public blow up at her, and that'll be that. I just man, they're not gonna book Nikki Cross strong, are they?
At this point, I don't think they even understand her character at this
No,
point,
I don't think so.
which is a shame because she was super. She was red hot coming out of NXT.
Yeah, man.
Red hot.
So edgy being part of like a male stable, like what that does to like a female's image, being able to hang with the boys
They
is
yeah they broke them up as first chance they got. I don't
yeah,
understand why.
because
They
they didn't
still have the whole,
understand sanity, dude.
oh terrible, oh that's a
Yeah.
shame, that is such a shame.
They didn't understand him, man. Vince doesn't watch NXT. You know, it's been known that he doesn't watch NXT. He just gets some like mild rapport on like who's the hot people in NXT, pulls them up, and then has no real history or knowing of their character development, their storylines. That was the most obvious thing when he pulled up Ricochet, Aleister Black, but Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa in the
Right.
middle of their like 2 or 3 year long feud. At the apex of their feud, he brings them up, and all of a sudden they're teaming together. It just shows right there that he doesn't. NXT is non-canon. Like anything
Right.
that happens down there is non-canon.
There was proof of that. Late fucking Becky Lynch was fighting Lacey Evans, and then it was Michael Cole or Corey Graves says, "How do you prepare for Lacey Evans? There's no tape on, you know,
Yeah,
like almost as if NXT didn't exist like at all."
exactly. I know they pulled back a little bit on it, but I know a couple months ago it made the news rounds that the commentators were no longer allowed to mention NXT. Uh, this, of course, was before this year started and they were doing NXT call ups. But for a minute there, they wanted to completely wipe out any mention of it on the broadcast. Which is
Yeah,
why would you shut out one of your programs? It's one thing to pretend your competition doesn't exist. It's another
right.
thing to pretend that your own products don't exist.
There's an apparent inner power struggle within the hierarchy of WWE
Yeah.
with Vince McMahon, his right hand man Kevin Dunn, and then Shane McMahon, Stephanie McMahon, and Triple H. There's a power struggle right there, and as you see, it's someone that comes up from NXT. There's Triple H's people, so I think even when Kevin Owens first came up, they tried to focus on the fan signs, calling him fat. Like they tried to humiliate him in the beginning, or as they've done with so many NXT people,
Yeah, man.
just out of spite at this point.
Vince is a petty dude, man. He is. It's arguably to say that he's losing his mind. And speaking
Well,
of losing their mind,
nice.
Aleister Black, uh, dude, he's losing it, man. Like screaming at nothing for someone to fight him. Like
Which is
if you're walking into work and you hear a guy in another room just screaming like "Come pick a fight with me," like no. Like, where else does that work?
right.
Oh my god, I was really expecting, just because I've seen all the stuff on Twitter. I was expecting when, since Aleister Black turned to his right while he was yelling, I was expecting Randy Orton to come in and RKO him from behind, like right there. But
Yeah.
I was sad when it didn't happen. But you saw that. That looks like that's going to be the feud. Just that,
I hope so at this point because this is not looking good for Aleister Black. If you're,
it's
if
typically
you're,
the house shows are what you go by.
yeah, because you're at this point he looks like just a guy that's been begging for a fight. No one's paying him attention.
I know, poor Aleister Black. He
Which
can't think of.
if they ruin Aleister Black, man, I don't even know what to say anymore.
I would say him feuding with Randy Orton out the gate and then winning is probably one of the best things you could do for him.
Right, right.
Because Randy Orton, dude, he can take a loss from just about anybody, and he's gonna be fine. It
Oh
doesn't
yeah.
matter, you know.
But you know what? At this point, I'm just so jaded. It wouldn't surprise me if they do like a screwy finish and it ends up being like 4 or 5 matches between Randy Orton and
50-50
Aleister Black.
booking. Yeah, just fifty
Yeah.
fifty book. That's what they'll do. They'll stretch it out a couple months, which that'll ruin it. But if you could just do a one and done, send Randy packing for like 2 months, that would be such good shine for Black. But we'll see. Um,
Yeah, it's a shame that they're almost purposely trying to make him fade to black, you know. And
so stupid.
and really, all we want is a new day, you know.
Yeah, and speaking of which, dude, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't even bother writing down anything from these promos. New Day came out, hype their 6-man tag match, but also more importantly, the returning Big E is back.
And what a difference he makes, man.
Dude, he oozes charisma, bro.
It is
Like
ridiculous. Like
oozes it.
he has all that charisma, and then when you combine him with the other two, it's just a whole another show once all three of them are together.
They're first ballot Hall of Fame.
Oh,
Like
without a
yeah.
doubt.
Oh man. No other stable I can recall has stayed as consistently popular and held their position. Even DX fluctuated up and down throughout their years.
Right.
But New Day, outside of their like probably initial, I don't know, 6 months to year, ever since then they've been on top and on fire. And they don't for some reason they just. I don't know why, like, no one gets tired of them. I'm not tired of them. I just don't know why. Anybody else, you think it would grow stale, but I think they tweak their stuff just enough
Right.
here and
Right.
there to keep it fresh.
And at this point, they have more freedom than most people to just do and say different things. And it just shows, it just vibrates, and they keep such a like their fingers on the pulse of pop culture that they just know what's in. You know,
Xavier Woods talking about he wanted the match to go quickly so he could get back to E3.
and he's not even lying about that. He's dead ass.
Yeah, man. Yeah, dude. I saw him. I paid attention to E3 a little bit, like here and there. Like Xbox brought the heat this time.
I think last when Mortal Kombat came out, you had Xavier Woods because it's E3 and they don't care. He was playing with Cody Rhodes and Kenny Omega.
Yeah.
Like,
That was the only time that the Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks were able to face off against the New Day. Was at a video game, either convention or tournament, something. But they were able to do, so that's pretty cool. But I mean, you go ahead if there's anything that stuck out, because I just know that the promos just went back and forth. New Day was mainly promoting their match, and
strangely enough, Kevin Owens didn't say a single word this entire show.
he looks like he gets shut down by the New Day. I've noticed the New Day silences Kevin Owens, because it was like what, it was just like a week or two ago when Sami Zayn was coming out crying that he didn't get the big return that Big E got. And the New Day was just roasting him left and right, and Kevin Owens got shut down and had to walk, man. Like, that's his kryptonite. His promo kryptonite is the New Day. Did you catch? There's one thing I wanted to know what I caught was I feel like the New Days, one of them was alluding to something specific, and Xavier Woods had to bring it back. But I like I said, I wasn't in the promo enough, and I was hoping maybe you caught it.
So Big E was saying that they kind of made fun of his fake return that when he returned last week.
Okay.
They knew he was still injured, so they just straight out and said that this is his real return. And then Big E proceeds to say, I've had so many, injuries and returns, so many injuries and returns that if I had a championship for every time I came back to return, I'd have more championships than Charlotte Flair.
Oh, they were getting on Charlotte again?
And he's like, respect. He's like, okay, that's enough. Let's get back to this, whatever.
Okay, so that's what I missed. All right. Yeah. That's not the only time he's done that. He's roasted Charlotte before, back when she was having that feud
Right.
with
Sasha
Sasha
Banks.
Banks. Yeah, I remember him roasting her there
Well, to
too.
be fair, they were trading that championship back and forth every other day.
Yeah, because they
But
said like she'll surpass her dad in like 2 months or something
right.
at the rate they're going.
And then I think Kofi says, "Oh, Biggie making booking jokes."
Yeah, that's what I caught. Yeah, uh, that kind of caught my ear, and I was like, "What the hell am I listening to right now? Are they breaking the fourth wall?"
No, they do it just enough, and then they reel it back in.
Yeah, that's good. Um,
And
uh,
then Ziggler talking about it should have been him again, should have been me, should have been me.
yeah,
Um,
it's just rinse and repeat the promos with the exclusion of like the Big E, but rinse and repeat all the promos that Kofi and Ziggler have been cutting the last 2 weeks. That's pretty much what I felt like we got. Because I mean, there's been nothing new to add. They cut. I saw that they were cut into like video packages too and everything, and it was
well, they recapped Saudi Arabia, and then so Ziggler, his main thing was Kofi was a hypocrite because he had to cheat, which Xavier Woods, gave Ziggler the kick, which caused Kofi to win at Super Showdown,
yeah.
and he was trying to use that against them. Um, and that's pretty much all it really was. Sami Zayn, he tried, cutting in his promo about how they're hypocrites, all that stuff, but New Day Biggie pretty much shut him down. And
Talk about how he saw he got wore out by Seth Rollins on Raw. Hello.
yes, sir.
Oh,
You cut off. You
I
cut
did
off.
cut
You
off.
cut off.
Okay, yeah. I did catch how they were talking about Sami Zayn getting wore out by Seth Rollins on Raw.
Yeah,
Yeah, I caught that.
and that was pretty much it. That just set up their match for later on in the main event.
Hell yeah. Following that up, we had the Nikki Cross and Bailey match. Nikki came out. Well, for one, Nikki came out to Alexa Bliss's theme, and it's uncomfortable, man. It's uncomfortable that Nikki is not like she is the bystander in all of this that's going on, and it shows, and it just makes me a little sad. But she does, anytime she gets in the ring though, she turns it around, man. The crowd gets behind her. She came out strong and pretty vicious. Trapped Bailey in the ring apron, gave her an old-fashioned blanket beat down. Later she even got her in the tree of woe. Bliss ended up playing a distraction, of course, to be expected, but it was still not enough to overcome our SmackDown Women's Champion. Nikki still fell to Bayley via the elbow drop, and after seeing how this played out, it really just. I mean, I'll ask you for your prediction, but to me, it feels like the Bliss and Cross thing is expiring at Stomping Grounds.
It seems that way, but again, it just seems that they're going to drag it out as long as they possibly can,
Right.
and it's just going to be disappointing. I think
See, I
you
think
try to give them the benefit of the doubt, but I don't know, man.
I've been trying, but the last couple episodes, like, so it's kind of like when Bliss was playing the sympathetic character and seemed kind of genuine when the Iconics and the coffee and all of that stuff happened. That was like, okay, maybe they're doing something here. But we've had 3 episodes since then, and Bliss has played up the heel all 3 episodes and played the manipulating role all 3 episodes. And that's kind of what's making me weary. I think it's just going to be a matter of Bliss failing to get that SmackDown title and takes it out on Cross. But you say you think they're just going to rinse and repeat Nia Jax.
Yeah, rinse and repeat because they pretty much turning Nikki Cross into the that what's her name, the basket case from the Breakfast Club movie, the weirdo.
That was I didn't watch that movie. Not gonna lie.
Oh, they were showing my age.
I know.
But
I know the movie. Okay, like I know. I like it came out when I was like really little. Yeah, I just never really got into it.
They got her as the oddball character, like just outcast, misfit, type of thing.
Yeah.
I guess in their justification, they're trying to humanize her more so more people can relate or whatever.
Hmm.
Um,
The whole
but
outsider thing.
right,
Yeah.
it just seems like they're gonna play it out for a bit longer, until eventually she's gonna snap, and then she'll have a little feud with Alexa Bliss, and then hopefully that leads somewhere good,
I bet
Um,
I bet they
you
copy and
don't.
paste it to the point that Alexa Bliss is on the phone with the injured Mickey James. Just and it's gonna be there'll be a camera backstage. She doesn't know they're recording her. It's just WWE's way, man. They'll
Yeah,
just be like, this worked once before. Let's do it again. That was the
yeah.
WrestleMania feud, wasn't it? That was the
It
WrestleMania
yeah,
feud.
it culminated at WrestleMania.
Yeah, man. What a waste that feel good moment for Nia Jax was, man. She
Yeah,
could
after all that,
after all of that, man. Nia Jax really could have played that sympathetic role, and but they don't know how to book women that aren't like knockout. Like you're not. I'm not saying that like bigger women can't be hot or like different looking girls can't be hot, but if you don't fit that generic like almost like blonde bombshell look, they just don't know what to do with them character wise, you know. Like I don't know. Like Sonya Deville is the only one who doesn't like fit that mold. Like they know how to book Sonya Deville as a badass, but even then she doesn't get that much time to shine.
she's still more of a sidekick to Mandy Rose.
Exactly. It's but you got Kevin Dunn and Vince McMahon. They have an obvious type, you know.
Yeah,
It's tough.
they just lock everybody else out. It's almost
Mm.
they lock them out so much that you just wish somebody would find like a crowbar or something just to break them out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. And I bet Jinder Mahal knows what you mean.
And he
Um,
knows exactly. My boy came strapped with the crowbar looking for our truth in that equipment box, but lo and behold, it was gone.
yeah, R-Truth is dead.
He's
He's dead.
apparently he's being shipped out to LA.
That's 6 days in a storage container with no
You,
food or water. We left R-Truth saying he only had 2 breaths left.
you know what? He should cut. He should have his phone right, and he
Yeah.
should cut like a Have you seen like the movie, like a survival movie, like 127 hours or something? Where he's just
Yeah.
locked in the damn thing.
It's gonna be on
With
Twitter.
little light.
It's gonna be
Yes,
on Twitter.
if they do something like that, that's amazing.
Oh, do not miss that opportunity, WWE. That's gold, man.
If over the next 6 days he's filming himself like
In
locked
a
in the
in a
damn thing.
box. They won't even explain how his battery stays charged.
Don't even need to forget it.
Yeah, man. It's just he's been in a box for 6 days. He comes out and he's got like a cheesy gray beard. Like he hasn't shaved or nothing. Looking like Tom Hanks Castaway.
Yes, yes. He drew a little face on the belt and everything.
Yes. Oh my god, yes. That's awesome.
They have a lot of material right now if they capitalize on that.
Oh my god, do it. Do it, WWE. That's so good.
That's it. And I think aside from that, we went over the 6-man tag, and I think that was pretty much it to this show.
Well, no. So following Truth being shipped to L.A., we got the repeat Firefly Funhouse.
Oh, true.
Yeah, we just got the same one from Raw. We didn't get anything further on that in that development. And then we said you mentioned that we had that little backstage interview, Apollo saying that he hadn't forgot about the beatdown from Andrade, and then Selena Vega comes in, essentially says keep my client's mouth out your name. Not much to it, just kind of like an easy way to show that Andrade can't be on the show because of the unfortunate passing of his mother.
Right.
And then the interview ends panning over to this was my first time really noticing Gable's haircut. Like I forgot he had long hair, but it finally stuck to me. Gable's
Gable,
taking notes. Like what the hell is he
taking notes.
what's he taking notes on, man? Like
Chad Gable looks like that kid from the Goldberg show.
Oh God. Yes, I know the show you're talking about, but I never
The
really
little kid.
watched it. I didn't
Oh
watch it,
man,
man.
you.
Where
But
where
yeah,
Ro- where Rob took a
taking.
hiatus from wrestling for a while, I took a hiatus from television for a long time. I didn't get TV till like a year or so ago, but I was able to watch Raw and SmackDown online. But let's not talk about that. Um, but
Anyways, so yeah, he was taking.
anyways,
Talk about your financial issues. So yeah, so Chad Gable was taking notes. Random, I don't know what angle they're going with. I don't hope they're not trying to copy like a Chris Jericho the List type of thing or anything. I'd hope they'd be smarter than that.
But it's petty though. You can never underestimate the pettiness of Vince. Like part of me even, but I don't think WWE's that clever. Part of me thought that the execution of Rambling Rabbit was supposed to represent Dean Ambrose or
Oh
John
no,
Moxley.
of course not. It's just fun to speculate.
But it did. It crossed my mind. You know, the second Rambling Rabbit was like, "Let me tell you what's going on back here and everything," and then Bray just stamps him out. You know, like I was like, wonder if that's a shot, but they're not clever enough to do it. You know what I mean?
No.
They would just literally just do what they did with Razor Ramon and Diesel and just cast like a new Dean Ambrose, like he never left.
Damn.
Yeah, it wouldn't. I wouldn't put it past Vince. But yeah, you're right. Up next was the main event of the evening. Your six-man tag. This just served as fan service to see the New Day back together. Nothing too drastic happened here. We got to see the Unicorn Stampede. We got to see a little hot tag to Kofi Kingston was the first man in, and he got beat down twice, both times while the ref was distracted. We got a little hot tag to Xavier Woods, but that was just to serve as Xavier getting cut off and then beat down for the majority of the match. I did see that a nice moonsault from Kevin Owens. I always pop when I see him break
Which
that out.
was a little bit of a botch on that one.
Yeah.
Xavier was just trying to roll out of the way. He didn't roll out fast enough, and Kevin Owens just lands completely on his wrist and side.
Yeah.
You could see him say "my bad" right away, whatever. Then they finished, But yeah, like he's surprisingly agile for his size.
He's a good man. He can go. Like he can go, dude. Like I'm. There's a lot of these guys that I hope that they don't end up out their prime when Vince finally has to hand the keys over, you know? And
Right.
and they're giving more creative freedom in the ring and stuff, you know? And Kevin Owens is one of those guys that I hope that transition happens while he's still in his prime, cuz I mean, he was supposed to be hailed as like the second coming of Stone Cold, man, for a while there. Which that gets tossed around a lot too, doesn't it, man?
The second comings, the comparisons. This guy's the next dad,
Yeah, yeah.
And unfortunately, us as fans tend to do that a lot, and that ends
It's
up
just easy though. It's so easy to say it. You know,
it ends up boxing these people into certain. You hype things up a certain way, so when the match happens, for example, like a Daniel Bryan versus Styles or Styles versus Nakamura, you hype the things up so much, you expect it a certain way that when it's not, you just lend yourself to be disappointed.
You're also
For
given
example,
like a.
like
Oh, go ahead.
no, yeah, we're like Kevin Owens is the next Stone Cold. CM Punk is the next Stone Cold. Becky Lynch is the next Stone Cold.
Braun Strowman is the next Stone Cold.
Braun Strowman is the next Big Show. It's the next Stone Cold. That you just
Yeah.
like you keep boxing those people in, so you almost encage them in a way that they can't, as despite their best efforts, won't be able to break those bonds, break out of those cages, just because of the expectations we as humanity tend to put on people through our own, self projections and everything. I'm not a psychologist or anything, and I'm just saying words at this point. I was hoping you'd cut me off, but you didn't, so I'm just going to keep on rambling.
These deep thoughts brought to you by the Smackdown podcast, serving up life lessons. No, you're right, man. You give people a preconceived notion to compare them to an idol that they probably had, and then at that point, it's an uphill battle, and sometimes an unwinnable battle, because you're never gonna topple your idol. Your
No, and
nostalgia. Yeah.
it's a different time period. I don't think that I don't think that Stone Cold would have been as if he came out during this era. I don't feel like he would have been as popular. He would not have been Stone Cold as
I
much.
I really liked Cody Rhodes promo he cut leading up to Double or Nothing, about the wanting to kill the Attitude Era, and that's not in like I can see it. It kind of plays into what you're saying, because if you attack the Attitude Era, you put a spotlight on the current guys. You stop making that comparison. You
Right.
know that they are that person, and you start saying they're better. And that's what the wrestling business is supposed to be. Before anyone gets upset saying that new guys are better than the old guys, remember it's a business, not a WWE, but it's a business tradition to go out on your back, to put over the younger talent, and to allow them to shine and allow the business to grow. It's just unfortunate in WWE when they focus on ratings and cheap pops, it's done the opposite. And you want the older talent to go over and you want to bury the young talent. And what happens is that old talent is going to get to an age like we saw it at Super Showdown. They're going to get to an age where they can't go in the ring anymore or they can't return. And now you're stuck with these crop of guys that you have built and put on a platform and publicly said they're not as good as the old talent. You're doing nobody any favors when you do that. So I liked Cody Rhodes' approach to it, saying he wanted to kill the Attitude Era and he pitted the new talent against the old talent and put them over, which is really what I think you should do. It stings a little bit, but it's best for it's best for business.
Yo, no, you did. No. Oh.
But it's true, man. It's true. Getting back to the match, and let's get into some questions here. The match ultimately led up to Big E getting the hot tag and him demolishing everybody, hitting big suplexes. He counters.
Biggie was on fire,
Dude, the only thing I love more than a hot tag Big E is a mad Big E.
Oh man, yeah.
When they did that tag match in the Hell in the Cell and Big E actually looked pissed off. Oh my god, dude, that's scary.
Oh,
dude.
against the Usos?
Yeah. That's the
They
only
were
time I've ever seen him like serious and scary, dude.
They that match they they were out there to prove a point and send a message because they had the biggest rivalry with the Usos going up into for the tag belts or whatever.
Yeah.
And they put them on pre-show. The New Day is the hottest act right now. At the time, it was the hottest act, and they put them all the way to pre-show. They didn't even make the damn pay-per-view, so they went out to prove a point, and they tore
man.
the house down.
They didn't get put on the pre-show too much after that. They let that rivalry run almost a year long because of just every match was consistently good. But the match ultimately came to an end. Big E counters Dolph Ziggler's Famouser, almost gets the up, down, down. Zayn gets the blind tag in, but he accidentally super kicks Ziggler. This, of course, is after Big E has tagged in Kofi. So yeah, Ziggler super kicks Sami Zayn. Kofi hits a couple Trouble in Paradises on both of them and wins the match for his team. We go off the air watching the New Day celebrate, all back together again. Of course, Kofi in that awesome WWE Championship too, which I'm still enjoying the ride, man. So the show was good, man. Ultimately, I did feel like it never really got out of second gear, but there wasn't too much to complain about other than the opening, So
Right.
any strive forward, you got to take it. You really have to take it.
SmackDown always tends to be the better show at this point.
Yeah, but even then, SmackDown has been falling on some hard times. But let's go ahead and let's kick it over to some questions.
Oh, we got questions.
Yeah, man. I actually I sent out during the show to see if some people wanted to ask us questions for tonight's show, and we got a couple here. I think I got about 5 or 6.
Okay.
So the first one came to us via JM and Yeeski. Jesus, JM and Yeeski. he or they never know if it's singular or plural.
I'm not gonna comment on that. I have no comment to that.
Do you think Sasha will ever come back? And if so, what's the most desirable feud for her?
Ooh,
I think she will, but I don't think it's gonna be on the main card, man. I think WWE values her, and they'll give her a little. They'll let her do a match or two in NXT, which I think is what she's pushing for right now.
I could see that NXT or NXT UK. That'd be pretty. That'd be different. Honestly, I think she's just gonna write her contract out at this point. After the 2 years, she's gone.
You
I
think
don't, I
so?
don't, I don't see her staying past the 2 years. Well, they're gonna add more time for this time that she
Right.
has not been there, but I think she's gonna write it out.
Who would I want to see her
Especially,
feud with though?
let's see, she on the main roster. Damn, see, there's not even the fact that you can't even think of one right away is not a good sign.
Yeah.
Nothing's gone anywhere. Like, I guess you could put her against a Becky Lynch, or
You couldn't really bring her back as a heel, could you?
well, no, people are gonna cheer her too much, and so you couldn't even put her against Bailey either.
That's
Um,
what I'm saying. Is like I feel like they would cheer her regardless, even if she came out as a heel and like beat down Bailey or Becky Lynch, unless she cost Lynch her championship. Um, like say Lynch has a title match against Lacey Evans and Sasha comes out. I think that's the only way she would get booed. But even then, I don't know if I'd want to see a feud with her and Lynch.
yeah, this on the main roster, there's not so many. They haven't built up enough women to where it's like you want to have. I would have said Ronda Rousey, but she's MIA.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't know. I'd like to see her do a run, just not necessarily like a feud, but a run down in NXT. Like go ahead and go down there and take on a lot of the talent, and then maybe like be the one to get that NXT Women's title off of Shayna Baszler. Um,
See, but then if you start doing that, you're gonna just start bringing people that are not working over here,
yeah.
taking their spots, and like you don't want to start doing that.
There's
But I
no
mean, I can
easy
see
answer,
that.
man. There's no easy answer to this,
To
you
me,
know?
to me, in my opinion, the best option would be to bring her to the NXT UK scene and build up that women's division,
Yeah.
because they've been putting on some amazing matches over there as well, and that's the only division she hasn't
You know,
been in.
I'll say Tony Storm. You know what? I really like Tony Storm. I bet that would be cool.
Yeah,
Um,
there's a lot of potential over there that
yeah.
especially matchups that we haven't seen. That's me as a wrestling fan. That's where I would put her. Um, I don't know where she really fits on the main roster at this point.
Yeah, I think she's like an oddball there. Like maybe to the casual fan who doesn't know what's going on behind the scene, it'll go over smoothly, but it's just going to be weird to anybody that is kind of, informed. Like the Smarks and everything. That kind of know like that how unhappy she is, like just seeing her out there. I don't know. It would just be weird. It would be weird in the height of what appears to be unhappy with the company you work for to see you paraded out. Because honestly, I bet if she was on the main roster, I hate to say it, I bet she would just get buried. They'd just give her the Dean Ambrose treatment and just
Or
start burying her.
the EC3 treatment.
Oh
This-
god, dude. She wouldn't do it. She would go home. Like I don't even think she would do it. She would just go home again. I don't know.
yeah,
I don't think she's coming back to main roster. You're right. I really don't. And if she does, it's going to take some time. Um,
unless well, it's either NXT UK or NXT. They could do something like they've done with Tyler Breeze. Not necessarily put her at the top, but at least maybe a feud with like a Bianca Belair or someone up and coming.
I like Tony Storm. I don't know too many of the NXT UK women, but I do like Tony Storm. If she's not the current champ, is she the current champ?
She is.
She is.
You can match her up against her or Rhea Ripley.
I would probably go with Ripley then. I wouldn't
The
want her to
heel,
go
yeah.
on and take the title because, yeah, it's
Her
counterproductive.
against. Now that I think about it, that'd be a perfect matchup right there. Rhea
Right.
Ripley is a the perfect healer for her to face.
There you go, JM. All right, so the next question, the Backstreet Bookers. Shout out to them, man, in their podcast.
Oh, they're awesome.
Yeah, dude. They're asking, do you feel
What they
that
asking? What they
what?
asking?
Stop. Do you feel that Goldberg's legacy is now tainted after Super Showdown versus Taker?
Ooh.
I think so, man. I mean, it's not a high note. Well, when you're talking legacy, you're talking. It doesn't take away his past accomplishments,
No, no, definitely not.
but he definitely is now on a down note compared to when he had that run with Brock Lesnar.
Yeah,
Because that Brock Lesnar
yeah,
feud was booked almost perfectly. The only thing I didn't like was them putting the Universal belt on him just to try and make it that more impactful. I feel like they could have accomplished the same thing without the title, but
right.
that's a minor. It's a minor issue. I feel like that run was like the perfect run for him, and now
Right.
obviously, yeah, it kind of is. It's a sour taste. The dude was bleeding before he got to the ring, and then concussed himself. Allegedly concussed himself in the ring, and then the match just fell apart so bad.
It's kind of like when you go to your favorite restaurant that you've been going to for years, and they have this bomb ass food. You go there for years, can never disappoint you, and then they change management one day, and the recipe's different, and it's still the same, but it's not the same. You know what I mean?
No, but yeah, man. I'm sorry. I'm just playing with you.
It's like when you've been married to some man or woman for like 40 years, and then all of a sudden they decide to cheat on you, and then you wake up
Jesus,
realizing that you spent your entire life idolizing this person, and it ended up not being what you thought it was going to
that
be.
is dark, man. Oh my god. I I was gonna say it's like eating Taco Bell, and then it eventually gives you food poisoning. It's like you're eating it because yeah, it's good and all, but you know it's really not that good. And then one day it gives you food poisoning, and you're like, "Well, I should have seen this coming." You know?
That's a better example. I might be projecting.
Oh man. As far as his legacy goes, no. I mean, what the man's accomplished, you can't take it away from him. It's just you're only as good as your last match, and that last match is a hell of a last match. So, personally speaking, I had some time to think about it. I think Goldberg and Undertaker both need one more match, not with each other, but they
But just to say, like, to end it like on a good note.
like a redemption match, something.
Yeah, yeah.
Dude, pull out the whole the Shawn Michaels and Ric Flair old Yeller story, you know? Pull it out, man, on them. Like on at least on one of them, like Undertaker, pull it out on him. Like, it's these matches are
Well,
getting terrible, and it's time to put you down for good or something,
they've done
and
that a few times with Taker. I don't know if when he fought the Wyatts and they dragged his body out, his corpse out the ring, out of the cage. That would have been the perfect ending right there, but they just have to keep milking him. I think Goldberg would need that redemption match more than anything. I think Undertaker will be fine, but Goldberg is getting a bad rep.
I just want like an emotionally impactful match for Undertaker, and it's might be asking too much. But
Right.
if you could humanize him after that match, you know what I mean? You could play into it that the mystique is gone, the Undertaker is gone. All that's left is Mark Callis. You know what I mean? You
Oh, that's
know,
pretty good.
and then have him
Yeah.
have him come out to like Johnny Cash. Um, what's Johnny Cash's song?
Some hurt.
Ain't no grave can hold me down.
Oh, nice,
You
nice,
know what I
nice.
mean? Have him come out to that, like humanize him, make him vulnerable because he obviously is vulnerable. He's not that mystic. That's the problem is bringing him out and portraying this ominous figure that's unbeatable. It's no
Who
humanize
who
him.
would you pair him up with though?
It'd have to be seasoned talent, but not one of his peers.
Not Triple H again, no.
No, 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 no. Like man, I don't. I would like
Would you-
in my mind, I'm trying to play out Shawn, I'm trying to repeat Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair. They were both face. You loved them both. You know what I mean? They were sympathetic. That way, it's is no heat. It just feels like it's something that needs to be done. It needs to feel like taking the dog to the vet to put him down. You know what I mean? And you can't hate on the owner. You have to sympathize with the owner. So like in my mind, it might be someone who idolized Undertaker. Maybe you can find like someone who grew up and idolized him.
So would you give it to like a Randy Orton type of person, or would you give it to a new guy?
Ooh. Randy Orton, maybe. I don't know about Randy. No, not Randy Orton.
He's not. Yeah, it's like,
Like I would think about like where Kevin Owens is in his career. You know, Kevin Owens has still probably got another decade left. Somebody with that kind of mileage still. God, it's hard to pick who you would have just because of Undertaker's age. I mean, you'd have to sympathize. Seth Rollins.
oh
Seth
yeah,
Rollins, man. That's who it would have to be. Seth Rollins would have to, because the crowd, Seth Rollins could sell it. Seth Rollins could
yeah,
sell that he hates every minute of it, but he knows it's got to be done, and no one would hate Seth for it.
yeah. That's perfect because Roman
Yeah,
Reigns would get booed.
yeah. It's
Yeah,
not.
yeah. It's Rollins. Rollins against Undertaker in a retirement match with like how you said with the Johnny Cash vibes and everything. Just like
Yeah.
an old gunslinger on
Mm-hmm.
his last strip. Yeah,
Strip
that'd be a perfect.
strip away the Undertaker gimmick, man. Take away the trench coat, like you know what I mean. Have him come out and be human.
Just go out like Logan, like the movie Logan. Just have him go out like
Yeah,
that.
man. Grizzly, have him grow like a beard. You know, if he can grow a
Right.
beard, have him grow like a damn beard and stuff.
That'd
Um,
be a perfect cinematic ending to him. But
make it
yeah,
happen,
that's
folks.
a tough one.
It is, man. It's a tough one to make happen, but if anyone could do it, I think it'd be Seth Rollins. Goldberg, I don't think Goldberg needs to be put out like that. I think Goldberg, you give him one more showcase match, maybe give him the legit match with like Kevin Owens, you know, um, and because Kevin Owens could go balls to the wall for 5 minutes and end it, you know, something like that,
Yeah.
and just make it entertaining. You know, Goldberg
hmm
doesn't need to go out like that as emotional. Just give him something fun, like give him a fun match to go out on. Um, But yeah, no, I like that question, man. Thank you, backseat bookers, making us think over here. Damn. Okay. It's Bondicated sent us. Um, damn, a heck of one. Okay. Yeah, he's got a question for Rob. I'll have to save that for the next show.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I guess I did. I forgot to put in there that Rob's absent on this episode. So what do we think of Renee, Cole, and Graves as commentators go? Bondicated goes on to I've never paid much attention to commentator, but as Rob saw today, I made a joke and people flipped about commentary. Oh, so I guess he follows it up with a snippet here. So that's my question. What makes a good commentate? Or what makes good commentary in our eyes? Um,
Oh,
they gotta have chemistry. You gotta
right.
everyone's gotta kind of feel genuine and kind of get along. Like, dude, did you ever watch when it was Graves, Cole, and Booker T, and there were certain matches that they didn't have to go super corporate in, and they could loosen up, and how they just cracked each other up. That's what I
Yeah.
like. I love that.
Corey Grace and Booker T were those good.
Dude, oh, they're so good together. I was sad, man, when they replaced him.
Yeah, they replaced him with Atunga or whatever.
What in your eyes? Like what's your formula? Or build your commentary team. I think
I
either or
think
will work.
a good commentary team highlights what you're watching. You know, it highlights your wrestlers, highlights the match. You know, it's just another part of the play. You know, it shouldn't attract too much attention where you're focusing so much on the commentary, you're not even paying attention to the match. You know, everything has like a symphony, a little role to play in everything. Um, Perfect example, I think, of a good commentary team was Mauro Ranallo, Nigel McGuinness, and
Yeah, they're a good team.
they're good together. And Beth Phoenix has been doing all right. But the three man,
Do you like
it
three
just
man or do you want it to be a two man?
I'm partial to the two man. I don't understand the three man commentary team. I don't know when that started or why everybody's been doing it. I
It
don't
feels like
understand
one
necessarily.
person gets the short end of the stick, right?
Yeah, because you have two color commentators at that point, and it's just I don't know. It just seems like too much at that point.
Yeah. I do feel like every commentary team needs its version of JR. Someone who can sell the drama of a match to really give it that extra kick. You don't have to do JR's thing, but you got to be able to sell the drama. Like you said it earlier, Mauro Ranello. He's great at selling the drama of the match. He's a little cheesy at times with his pop culture references, but he can really sell
Some of them
drama.
are, yeah, some of them are forced, but I personally liked him with Percy Watson and Nigel McGuinness. They built something like a good amount of chemistry there, and it didn't distract from the match too much, you know.
Right, right.
Versus, I know some people like Cole and they excuse him for having the things in his ear and all that stuff. I cannot find myself to enjoy his commentary, even when he did the NXT UK
I
commentary.
heard, yeah, I didn't watch it, but I heard he was good there.
People say it was good. It wasn't for me. It's just, it should just be if the match is the meal, it should just be like a spice on top of the match. Just a little flavor on it. It shouldn't be the be all end all. But again, so if you put the right spices in a good meal, it's just that much better, I think.
Okay, okay. Hey, I mean, Cole is a little bit older, so it's gonna be hard to be relatable. But then I say that and then turn around and Jr. I feel like I'd never get tired of Jr. Even though he doesn't get a free pass. Like Jr. does botch a couple things here and there. I think I just Jr. is such a lovable guy that you give him a pass for
JR, when he's motivated, he can be on. There was a couple before, a lot of New Japan shows when they used to call him up to commentate, whatever. It was just no passion, just didn't care about the wrestlers in there, and it was just obvious that he didn't want to be there, and it just showed in his commentary. Night and day for him commentating on AEW. He was on it. He was alert. It just brought such a big, not
yeah.
even nostalgia. It just brought a legitimacy to it, if anything. But like as you said, there has to be a guy that calls the match, the moves and everything, what we're seeing in the ring, and then the other guys to help him promote the storylines or whatever, or crack a few jokes here and there.
I bet if Michael Cole was gone and they didn't need the traditional heel commentator, I bet Corey Graves could. I bet Corey Graves could sell the hell out of a match.
Yeah,
Uh,
he was amazing in NXT. He? I don't understand the need to have like a forced like heel commentator. Like you have to have
at
one. I
least
don't
not an
understand that.
overbearing one. You could have someone like I said, you could have someone side with the heels, but you don't have to make that commentator detestable the whole time. You know what I
Perfect
mean?
example was like a JBL. It was just
Yeah.
unbearable. It was too much.
Um, yeah, no, exactly. Because then you're trying to push a character on the commentary booth, which which you have to give your attention to, which takes away from the match. And yeah, it's too much, man. Doesn't make sense. We got our final question of the evening, coming to us from at big underscore Malky. Love this guy. Cthulhu loves you. I love this dude on here, man. Um, he asks, he says, is Triple H becoming a member of Bullet Club in Japan? I saw this as a way of trying to show solidarity with NJPW community, or do you think it's dig like most commentators on social media? Honestly, dude, I don't think it's a shallow, but my first instinct is just Triple H wants to be cool. You know, like
Yeah,
he's in
yeah,
Japan. Japan is gonna pop huge for Carl and Gallows and Anderson and AJ Styles, and Triple H just wants some of that rub. You
yeah.
know what I mean? Like, and he already has the Too Sweet, and he did get an endorsement from Tama
Tonga.
Tonga. Yeah, that shocked me. Um, Tama Tonga said, "Welcome to Bullet Club." I thought that was pretty cool. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's this big peace offering. I think he realizes that Gallows and Anderson and AJ Styles are going to get this huge reaction, this big rub, and he just wants to be there. You know,
Right.
like,
'Cause you could have easily had Finn Balor be there, but
dude, it
yeah,
should have been Finn. It
yeah.
should have been Finn, man. Oh, but yeah. Damn it, I don't want to end this on a downer. Why couldn't we end the show on the Undertaker resolve?
Um, no, yeah, it's just like you said, just trying to get that rub, and it's not necessarily. I don't think it's necessarily a dig towards New Japan.
No.
I think that doors pretty much was closed. I believe it was last year when Triple A
Shinsuke and
was.
Asuka, dude. Shinsuke and Asuka, they closed the New Japan door there.
Yeah, and then you had Triple A trying to have their first show at Madison Square Garden, and then you had WWE.
Oh, yeah.
They tried to block that basically
Shut him
with
down.
Madison Square Garden.
That
So
was the combination of what Ring of Honor and New Japan, right?
no, that was they tried to do it to Ring of Honor and Triple A. They had
Oh, that's
a
right.
show
Yeah.
there, and so what New Japan did was they made it their show as well, and basically backed them up against WWE. They ended up having the show there and everything. So everyone kind of, you know, put their foot down on that or whatever. So I think that, and then with them recently taking their shots at WWE, I don't think that door is opening up anytime soon.
No, man. No, and uh, yeah, it's just look at how WWE booked all the New Japan talent. Name one guy that came over from New Japan, um, besides like AJ, who
It-
got just blasted to the moon like nobody.
no, man. Even like you had Carl Anderson and Gallows come in at the peak of their Bullet
Oh,
Club
Bullet!
fire.
You had AJ Styles, Finn Balor, excuse me, and Gallows and Anderson, all under the same roof, with Bullet Club being the #1 faction in the world, and
Didn't use
fucking
anything,
doing
man.
nothing, man. Oh my god, that would have brought so many like that would have brought those indie fans over, like the WWE haters. I
Right.
promise you, it would have brought them over too, at least a good chunk of them, just to see what they were doing. But it is what it is, of course. But that's our show, man. I think we had a great show.
Yeah, I'm happy with it.
I'm happy with it too. I think it's a lot better than last night's.
Lot better.
I'm not yawning on the air or intoxicated. But Benji, man, thank you for joining us, dude. You guys don't forget to follow Benji again at where you at again, man?
I'm at Calavera Comedy, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, all that good stuff.
And to everybody
can-
else, man, thank y'all.
Peace.
Peace.
I think of a better ending.